Hello, and welcome to On My Shelf. Today I'm talking about a fun, funny, heartwarming, satisfying movie about dolls I played with as a little girl. Barbie is a comedy film that follows stereotypical Barbie and all kinds of other Barbies, who all live in Barbie Land, a matriarchal society where women actually have power. They are successful politicians, lawyers, doctors, scientists, and everything in between. They're completely self-sufficient and self-confident, and they assume that's the way it is in the real world. But then Barbie finds herself thinking about mortality, and her feet go flat, and she discovers cellulite. She travels to the real world to fix these problems, and she learns the world is not the same as Barbie Land. Ken goes with her and discovers the patriarchy, where he feels respected and accepted, his eyes open to the way the world could be. Madness and hilarity ensue. Barbie was directed by Greta Gerwig and written by Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. I thought this film was delightful. I laughed and I cried, and as I've said before, that's when you know a story is good. Here are 3 things I enjoyed most about it. Number 1, feminism. If you've been around long, you know I'm a feminist. That's not a bad word, by the way, and it doesn't mean I hate men. And the movie doesn't indicate that feminists hate men. It doesn't target men. It just explores the world of women in an ironic and impactful way. I loved that the movie also showed that feminism is different for everyone. It doesn't have to look the same. Some feminists like to wear makeup and pretty clothes. Others don't care so much about all that. We're all feminists. I also really love the rant from America Ferrera about how incredibly exhausting it is to be a woman. I felt like I could have written it myself, and I appreciated the acknowledgement in a movie about a toy that didn't always make being a woman any easier. Which leads me to number 2, the acknowledgement. I really appreciated that during this movie, it was acknowledged that Barbie did not make the world any easier for women. By giving us a perfect body ideal, which isn't even physically possible, thousands of girls, including myself, grew up with body image issues. Of course, this wasn't just Barbie's fault, but Barbie was a piece of it. And that was acknowledged in this movie. I thought that was brilliant. Number 3, humor. You probably already know that I love humor. The way it was used in this movie had more of an ironic feel, and it was incredibly effective. The humor wasn't sarcastic, it was innocent. I found myself laughing when the Barbies talked about how great the real world was, because they truly believed it looked like Barbie Land, where women got to be leaders, and they were perfectly safe and could make their own decisions about everything. From a craft perspective, I enjoyed the character journey of Barbie. She was perfect, and then she wasn't. So she traveled to the real world to try to be perfect again. But somewhere along the way, she realized that being perfect wasn't the goal. As a woman who has struggled since I was 12 with body dysmorphia, eating disorders, and perfectionism, I really love the reminder that perfection doesn't exist. I don't think women can be reminded of that often enough. Number 2, ironic humor. The way the movie used the innocent, ideal, optimistic way the world could be was brilliant. I found myself laughing so hard at unexpected places, and that's what made this movie such a delight. Number 3, the emotional moments. Barbie goes to the real world to solve a cellulite problem. How shallow. She's no longer perfect. The world is ending. But along the way, she meets an old woman. Barbie stares at that woman for a minute before saying, "You're so beautiful." Such a lovely moment. Probably one of my favorites. Did I cry? Yes. So here's what we can take away from the movie Barbie. Number 1, use more ironic humor. I love using sarcasm in my humor, but this movie really showed me the power of ironic humor. I want to use that more in my stories. It may take a little more thinking, and I might have to spend more time with my characters and their worlds, but it's a very effective humor technique for getting important messages across. Messages like, it should look more like this, but it doesn't. Why not? Irony makes us think more deeply about issues and circumstances. Why wouldn't I want my readers to do that? Number 2, teach about feminism. People have a very misguided idea of what it means to be a feminist. Stories can be used to teach. Guess what? It can be pink and girly. It can be, I like makeup. It can be, I don't want anything to do with pink or makeup or black girly stuff. It doesn't matter. Feminism looks all kinds of different ways. Women aren't stereotypes, and neither are feminists. All a feminist is an advocate for women's rights, which means, in the words of Nigerian writer Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who has written some phenomenal books, by the way, we should all be feminists. Number 3, you're going to piss some people off. You can't please everybody. So you should be yourself and write your truth. Some people will think you're anti-men. They'll never learn. Some men will always feel threatened when you talk about inequality and the ways men are treated differently than women. Share your truth anyway. That's it for today's On My Shelf. If you're interested in hearing an author's perspective on books, movies, and sometimes TV shows, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.